Hey, we are going to look at why I sound so excited. The interception end of the game for the Packers. So this is going to be, we'll look at the play. It's going to be, well, it's deeper than that. The circles shouldn't be that big, but interception to Toure was here, kind of run this deep over, interception, ending the game. We'll watch the play and then we'll kind of talk through it a little bit. So here we are, shotgun. You got 3-by-1 with a tight end kind of running. You've got an out route to one side. There's Toure running that deep over that through route. Just the ball is underthrown and also he's bracketed. So, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? We got a couple things going on here. So, they said they wanted to take a shot here. I believe both Love and LaFleur talked about this specific play in terms of they basically there's a guy there that was not where they didn't think he was going to be there. I guess that's the man right here is going to be this safety here. So, we're going to talk about him, concept, all that stuff. So, it looks to me, and we'll kind of run this forward a little bit. Broncos running some sort of quarters, probably got some match rules on there as well. So you got your two in the middle, you got your two on the boundary, kind of playing off. Keep in mind it is 3rd and 20. There's the marker there, and the Packers are here. So they've got a long ways to go, and that's going to mean some deep dropping linebackers as well. So it's going to be tough sledding there in the middle. You've got this kind of quarter shell with these kind of soft outside, and you got the inside here. The call they have against this, the route concept they have against here is good and smart for a handful of reasons that I very much like. There's a couple tweaks. There's one small tweak here, but we'll talk about that. So then we're running kind of an out route here, which I really like because a lot of times you'll have with this quarter stuff, you'll have, so he's going to kind of sink down here initially, kind of drop back. He's going to drop back. What you'll see a lot of times with these match rules on quarter stuff is this guy here, this receiver, the break, if he breaks in, so if this route kind of takes him inside, this boundary receiver, he then doesn't have an assignment at that point because he's passed that off to the middle. So you'll see him then slingshot that back and he'll fall underneath the deep route there. So by having an out route here on this side, it's a smart little addition to this, something you don't always see with this concept. Keep it, you're holding him here. So you're holding the boundary, keeping him from slingshotting back under that deep over by having an out route here as opposed to an in-cutting route. It's small, does not matter in the grander scheme of this is not part of the read at all. He's not going to this guy unless, I don't know, things are perfect, I guess. But this is just a small little detail in terms of how you'll typically see teams play this that I really liked. Okay, so you're holding him in place. That's good. With the other routes, we are going to have, this is the big one here. Kind of deep hook. Then it's big over from Toure. And then you've got this kind of follow to the middle there. And then you're going to have Dillon kind of check and release. So he's not a part of the initial, not a part of progression. He's not part of the initial thing. He just becomes like the check, and then the check down is what he ends up being. This matchup here is what we are going to focus on. We're going to look at him and him. Actually, we'll put him in a different color. He's on defense, and I want to try to stay consistent. That's the man you want to move, because ideally what you're trying to do, you're opening this. There are different ways you can go with this, but this is, I'm going to draw this there, the deep over. So it's essentially a one-man concept. You're doing all this stuff to break it open for that dude right there, trying to get that over route. Again, you've got here, so you're holding him down. We're going to look at all this through the context of trying to spring that guy open because that's what they're going to do. You've held this guy down here. This guy here is the key, and he's the guy who ends up falling underneath and becomes part of the problem here. You need to run that hook in a way that threatens him and brings him down. Because when you bring him down, you now open this avenue there. You open this lane because now you've got this deep over route from Toure, and then you've got him on the outside. So you've moved this guy out of the way. He's down. He's somewhere down here. You now have inside leverage on this guy here that you're running away from in a big area to throw the ball. So you can fit that. You can go deep with that. You can lead him up the field. You can lead him over. You got a whole lot of space because these two guys here are now out of the picture. Bang, bang. You've opened yourself a nice little lane, and you throw that. The problem, one of the problems, the last route here, again, is just that one there, which that one does not end up mattering on this one. That's if everything is cleared out. If this through route clears out the middle, you kind of take him there. The through route doesn't clear out the middle, and it's all jumbled. So that's not anything. So again, you're doing everything to try to get this one guy here, and then you got Dillon on this late check down. They want this guy here I'm going to do this. They want, and I guess that's craft. They need him to move this guy. It's crucial this play. Need him to push, threaten, get this guy to commit, take a step or two down just to open that lane up over the top. So you've got that lane up over the top for that deep crosser. That does not happen. He is not threatened. He doesn't move. So we're going to watch him. I've talked a bunch without running anything. We're going to watch that safety right there and kind of what he does at the snap and then what he ends up doing eventually afterwards. It's tough to tell from any of these angles exactly when Jordan Love moves off of that read, but he is looking at him initially. So I think, and we'll look at kind of what I think is going to happen. And we'll do this. There we go. All right. So he's kind of looking. He's looking. We're going to look at that safety. See how he kind of drops down? See, he sinks a little bit. So I think Love's reading him off the bat. He sees that sink, creeps up a little bit, and he says, all right, man, I've got him moved. He's out of the way. He's sinking up. I've got this big angle here. At this point, I have decided I'm taking this deep over because I've moved that man out of the way. He's not my problem anymore. He's somewhere down here is a thought. I've got this guy playing outside. I've got this guy held down by the out route there. This is all very messy and terrible, which means I can throw. I've got that window and I throw it right there. That sink, I think that's what Love is seeing with the sink. And so I think at that point he sees the sink. I'm moving off of him. I've got it. Now at this point, it's just I'm checking the backside safety. I've checked front side. He's sinking, checking the backside. He's backing up. He's not sinking underneath that deep crosser. I got him. I'm gonna hit the back of my foot. Bang, bang, bang. Sit, wait for a minute, and then just rear up and throw. Now, a couple issues here. For one, obviously he do you check back, stay on that guy, make sure he is moved? Sure, but you should do that. The other thing is you throw this a little bit more. I mean, sometimes as simple as that. I don't know that this makes a huge difference here. This safety is going to be coming over and he's going to be the one picking it off. But you have this guy kind of underneath here, right? As he's running this deep crosser, you got to put that sucker out for him to catch that. You don't have a huge window to throw that. That's got to be up the field, leading him up the field. Instead, it comes underneath, which then allows that safety a chance to cut underneath it. One thing on that, I mean, Toure, not that this is the fault of the defenders in any way, shape, or form. Not that this is something a quarterback should do. This is the kind of the underthrow DPI, something I don't particularly like. Toure needs to try to fight through that. If he tries to fight through this a little bit, try to come back, maybe he gets a call, maybe he doesn't. That guy right there, as we'll see, I think another one, he starts getting his head around late. So maybe, and you can see him there, he's kind of turned. Maybe by fighting through that, nothing happens. But by fading back off of that and kind of fading with the ball as opposed to trying to come back and get it, it's not great. So that's one thing there. You got to fight through that ball, be a little more physical through that ball. The other thing is, again, the route from Tucker Kraft, which is tough anyway because he's coming across. You're trying to influence this guy, but your spot is all the way here. You got to push all the way across. I kind of like the idea more of from this side, run that deep hook there. And again, maybe you run a comeback, so then you still keep that there. So you come run that there. By threatening same side, you've got a better chance of moving him down. You're still able to hold him in space because you're not running an in breaker there. And then you open the alley that way. So it's kind of a tough ask of Kraft. Make that push enough to influence that man and sneak him down, but it's not really close enough. He doesn't quite run it far enough down the field. Now, I'm not putting this on Kraft at all. Probably how they coach that up, how they want to do it. You've got these two guys on the same level there. That's an option in case you don't like the deep route, is if that guy sinks back or something, you can take that in the middle, picking up, 10 to 15 yards, whatever it is, and you make that a more manageable fourth down. But it doesn't do enough to threaten him. So that's I would like to see that generally run from the same side. It seems like you've got a better way to threaten that guy and move him, because that's ultimately what you need to do. You need to move him. Instead, he's not moved. There you go. Last thing I'm going to hit on this before we look at from the other side. There's been some discourse around A.J. Dillon. Now, do you check it down to A.J. Dillon? In a perfect world, sure. If you want to look at this from a freeze frame, he is the guy who was most open. However, you don't always throw it to the guy who's most open because a quarterback doesn't see who's most open all the time. He doesn't see the whole field the way we do. We've rewound this play like 30 times so far. He's not able to see that. So if he thinks, again, get into the mindset of love. Not saying this is right or wrong. I'm saying this is what appears happens. Looking at these two safeties and seeing what they are, he sees that creep down, creep down. I think I've got that. His mindset is I've got this open. So why would he look anywhere else? Even if he does look somewhere else, let's say he sees that he looks somewhere else. Dillon is the check down. He's the last guy you're throwing to. So you got this deep over is the one. You're probably not working back to him. From there, you come back to 2 because you got this guy underneath, depending on what the middle does. If you're looking at that guy there and the middle moves out, you're looking 2. If they're kind of fading back under 2, you run to 3. And if 3 is not there, you do 4. So you're looking, and that's if we assume this guy's out. So you're looking at Dillon as the 4th option on this play. Clock sped up a little. It's 3rd and 20. You can't take a sack because then you're looking at 4th and 30 and you need a conversion. So you likely sped up. You're probably not getting to that 4th option anyway. Even if you do, protection's holding up a little bit there. That's good. Bam, bam. Throw it to, okay, line of scrimmage is there. If you throw it to Dillon, you've got eyes on him all over the place. We'll say there. So let's say we throw to Dillon. He gets the ball. These guys converge. If you're lucky, I think you're picking up 10 yards. If you're lucky, you're getting to the opposing 45. You're probably not even quite getting that far, seeing and how hard those guys are going to bite down. So if you want to say we throw that to Dillon, throw it to Dillon because he's open. You can see him there is open. If you screenshot it, he's open. If you look at the broadcast, he is open. That's very much 2020 hindsight. But again, you're looking at fourth option check down with guys who will converge as soon as that ball is out to him. And you'd be able to see Love kind of moving around. He's not there. I'm not throwing that. I'm not throwing that. By that point, the defense kind of starts to creep down a little bit. They're seeing, they're already here. They're looking there. I think maybe he gets 10 yards out of that. And then even then you're looking at 4th and 10. You're looking at 4th and long, which is not an ideal situation. I mean, better than interception in the game, I suppose. But again, hindsight 2020, I don't have any problem with Love not working down to his 4th check down option on 3rd and long on this big play. Again, probably should have looked at that guy a little bit more. Torrey probably needs to fight through that a little bit more. You can do some things to move that safety out of the way a little bit more than he did with Tucker Kraft across the formation from that inline position. There he is, or just slightly off inline, I guess. You can see the way he has to cross the field there to get there. So things you can do to kind of move him and make this a little better. Then obviously the throw could be better as well. So a whole lot of things went wrong. One of the things I'm not going to lose any sleep over. I'm not losing any sleep over any of this. But one of the things I'm not going to lose any sleep over is not checking down to Dillon as the 4th option on this play when you maybe get 10 yards and set yourself up for 4th and 10. So just my opinion, but based on based on everything we're looking at here, that's my take on this. So hope you enjoyed this. If enjoyed is the right word for this, I at least found it interesting, I suppose. I'm sure I'll have some stuff later this week. Thank you all for watching as always.